Welcome, everybody, to Generation Dan, the only podcast where mom said it was my turn to spout incorrect information to a microphone for an hour. It's my turn. I'm Atlas. I'm your millennial. Who else is here with me?
I'm Dino, the genetic marvel, and stop! I'm doing something. Yeah. You know what? Listen, there's a very massive difference between growing up without siblings and growing up with siblings, and I think that I think this is a great topic for us.
Yeah, because so today we're talking about sibling rivalry. First off, because today, the time of recording this, is my older sister's 35th birthday. Happy birthday, you suck. No, okay, I love my sister. We're going to her birthday after this. That was one thing. And then the other thing is you and I are both the youngest siblings out of our family. So
which means we're the most important.
If I had planned this ahead better, we would have had a guest who was like the oldest or a middle or something.
Joey already commented, oh boy. Victoria says hello. Hello, Victoria. It's you know what? It's very I am the oldest. It's way better being the oldest. No, that's because they have to figure everything out on you, and then your siblings get actual good parents. That's how that works.
I guess the easiest way to start it is to go through the life cycle of what it is to be a sibling. So start as kids, and then what is it to be the youngest when you're an adult? Does it matter? Kind of, not really.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is when you grow up, when you're just by yourself, it's just you and your parents, right? It's one thing. Dino is watching from a 1970s Midwestern wood panel. That's correct. It's very luxurious. Thank you.
If someone were to just come across this show randomly and you're like, what's the show about? I want you to look at the background. Dino is Gen X and his basement is 1970s, 1980s as fuck, which is perfect. Right. My background, it is like a millennial, white fucking the landlord just repainted and sold it to you for 20% more. It fits who we are as people. By accident,
but also, hey, it's that millennial just got painted, but also look at all the storage space. It's great. It's just only child suckers. Yeah, see, you say that. No, that's we're number one. When you have siblings, you have this distinct ability to know when you can and can't be on best behavior, and you learn very quickly what you are and are not supposed to do. And also there's inside baseball, right? There's a lot more where you realize how everything works. Atlas has the background of an apartment that used to be public housing, but they call it estates now.
He's 100% accurate and literally has the word estates in the fucking name of the apartment.
That's fine.
Perfect.
Hi, Bubbles. Hi, Iron Belt. After the low bid remodel. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Paint everything. Paint everything. Yep. Is that
gray and there's the jokes about millennial gray. We didn't want it. This is just they painted the apartment that color, and if you painted anything else, you lose your deposit. So
that's right.
And we need that deposit, which we're not getting back anyway.
And don't you dare clean off those electrical sockets that have been painted over. They were painted over for structural purposes. They have to stay painted over. That's just how it is. Don't go cleaning them. How dare you?
Fight to get the modem in there. The modem is right here next to my desk.
Millennials are just coping. They had no choice. No, they are just suffering. So millennials are basically the middle child because you had the Gen X had to fight for everything. And screwed up a lot. Millennials are okay, if we don't push on it, this building should stay standing. And then you have Gen Z and Gen Alpha who are just let it all burn. I don't give a shit.
They showed up after everything was already sucking, right? So they're just what's the point? And I totally get that. But also there's a good amount of Gen Z who is fuck you, fuck the cop switch. Cool. Good for you guys. Yeah.
Oh, come on, listen. Nobody has a song that says "fuck the firefighters." That's just all the best. Hope these kind of content works out for you guys. Thank you. We appreciate that support.
weirdly bad, but okay.
Nano Angel. Hi guys. Hello.
So yeah, sibling rivalry. Just real quick, I guess we should introduce the listeners to who our siblings are. We don't have to give them their like real names, but at least like what were our siblings like growing up, just so like all of this makes sense. You first.
Yeah. Well, so I'm the youngest of 5 kids. So there were 2 boys. So my oldest brother is 12 years older than I am. Then there's one that's 10 years older than I am. Then I have a sister who's 8 years older than I am. Then there's a big gap. And then I had a brother who was 2 years older than me, and then me. And I'll tell you, one sister, too much. Just way too much. That was a lot to deal with. But 4 boys where you had 2 young ones, 2 older ones, essentially just made 2 tag teams, and we just grew up beating the living hell out of each other, which was very educational because you learn a lot. It's important. I think there's certain things that you can only learn having siblings of the same sex, and there's a different set of understanding that you get from having siblings of different sex. Both have their elements, and like I knew a couple guys where it was the reverse, where it was 4 girls and 1 guy in the middle, and like he was such a bitch growing up until he started hanging out with other men, and then he was like, oh, we're like, yeah, you don't stop talking with such a high voice. What's going on here? And it's like, oh, well, my sisters get mad. I'm like, who gives a shit? You're bigger than them. Don't worry about it. Fucking just speak how you speak. Don't. It's only I just farted. Hey, just be happy you shit your pants. Okay?
Yeah, we went to Disneyland yesterday with Katie's family, and I'm walking around and I have like the dumb thoughts in my head, and I was thinking at any given point, if you look at your watch, how many people who are at Disneyland have shit in their pants at any given time, either from like park food or diarrhea or all the kids in diapers, right?
I mean, yeah, that's a lot.
I hate when I have thoughts like that. I'm like, why is this popping into my brain?
It's valuable information. Joey just said Gen X just didn't really do anything, and the millennials were like, we want to do something, and the boomers were like, the fuck you will. That's 100% accurate.
Yep, that's pretty much on brand.
Also, seeing as Atlas wants an obvious discussion on school nieces.
Let me set the record straight here, Joey. So I work in LAUSD, and a big part of LAUSD's culture is they're really trying to push kids towards college. So like both schools that I've worked at, they're like, make sure you wear college swag from time to time. So I'm like, okay, so I had to like go buy this recently. I bought a like UC Riverside alumni t-shirt when I graduated, and then that disintegrated. And then I bought this just so I would get less heat from admin.
Only admin would be foolish enough to think, listen, you want your students to know that they can be as cool as you, but they have to go to university to do it. No high schooler ever was like, oh, you went there? I'm definitely not going there. That's exactly what I
Yeah, exactly. Like I really tried to be clear about like, go to college if you want to go to college, but don't feel like there's the need to. That's how we happen. That's how the millennials happened. So
I feel like what you should be doing is start wearing clothes from like really weird post-secondary education places. Like that's like weird
Phoenix University.
Like, oh yeah, I got this. I went to DeVry and all I got was this stupid T-shirt. Like something just.
Or even better, fictional universities. I'm wearing like a Shiz University shirt from Wicked. Fucking bingo card county.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Angel. Hold on.
I just have sisters get style. Perfect segue. So I am the, I guess, youngest of 2. I have one older sister who is 3 years older than me. Happy birthday to that sister. And then when I was 16, because my parents divorced when I was 10, my dad had a second set of kids. So I am 16 and 18 years older than my other 2 siblings. So I keep saying I'm the youngest because for those siblings, it's more like being a cousin almost. Like I wasn't really living in my dad's house when the first one came along, and especially when the second one came along. Like I took care of the older one as a baby a little bit, and then I was going to college, and that was it.
Yeah.
So
That is true though. Is guys who have sisters, I think it's important that both genders are represented in growing up, just because you get to understand how different things are, right? Like it's because listen, differences only increase from there. But if you at least start having an understanding of both sides of the equation, then you become a little bit better understanding of all sorts of stuff, right? So, and that's true. Is men without sisters don't understand how to keep a lid on it, and you're like, hey man, everything doesn't have to be an issue, and just calm the fuck down. Like it's weird is that when you, and I think that also comes to grip with like when you have to deal with really younger people also, like, so you're like, well, I have to protect the younger person, right? And it's the same thing where you're like, you have to understand, hey, not everything you don't have to be angry about everything. That's a waste of your fucking energy. Just just calm the fuck down. What's up, Jeb?
The whole thing about like you need the other gender sibling, the other sex sibling, just to kind of balance you out, is definitely correct. Because I remember getting to college, and you have it's mixed gender dormitories. Like obviously, like girls and boys have their individual rooms, but we're all on the same floor. And it was always funny, like you would have the boys being like, "Why are there so many fucking hair ties everywhere?" I'm like, that's just living with girls. That's just kind of what it is.
If you have to share bathroom facilities with the women, you start to realize that you're like, this is way worse. You're like, no. There's because
the way UCR was, you would share the sink space, but the toilets were like off on either side in the showers. Like
still horrible. Yeah, still horrible. Hey, so I have a funny story about that. Hold on, let's go through this. Cheb, what's up, Cheb? Doing better than Aaron.
Yeah, all the people saying hi. Why not give a like or a subscribe? That would be super helpful. And
or tell us how bad your siblings are. College shirts are funny if they're from prestigious schools. Like I can't rock a Columbia or Stanford shirt without someone being like, "You didn't go there." Yeah, that's because everybody knows immediately Joey didn't go there. Joey's like Ivy League. Oh, okay, yeah.
we need a soundboard that clip from Mean Girls where it's like she doesn't even go here.
No one thinks twice if I rock an Ohio State shirt. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Know your lane. See, I have a funny story about this. Was I shared a bathroom with my sister for many years, and she was horrible. So she would have the entire and it was like, when you get it was a longer bathroom, so you had a sink in the middle. You could very easily have two sinks on this, but it was a very long counter, and she would have it filled with her shit. Okay. And I had three things. I had my soap, my beard frother for the soap, okay, my razor, and my toothbrush and toothpaste. That's it. Those are the things I had.
He had that razor from the time he was 7 years old. Dino, the genetic marvel, everybody. Growing a beard since he was in elementary school.
Also, I shaved with like a safety razor, like a razor blade. That's what I learned to shave with. It wasn't. People were like, "Oh, I got an electric shaver for my birthday." I'm like, "Why would you use an electric shaver? You just need a razor blade." And people were like, "You shave with a razor blade?" I'm like, "You don't shave with a razor blade?"
What, you haven't seen Sweeney Todd? Yeah,
bro. It got to the point where, so like, cause I was always in a rush and stuff, is I wouldn't even lather up with that, and I'd wet the razor and then just dry, and people were like, "How do you do that?" I'm like, because I'm a fucking man. I'm like, this is not a big deal.
You must.
There are guys I know,
because I've tried that before. It does not work for me. I have.
Oh, I never got like razor burn or bumps or anything. I'm like, no, it was just a thing. And it was very weird because I knew guys that if they shaved with like a disposable, like a Bic, razor, they would like break out and stuff. And I'm like, and they could only shave with an electric razor. I'm like, oh well, that's I'm like, I've never used an electric razor. It's not, feels weird, but
so counter full of stuff. Yeah.
So she would have a counter full of stuff, and she would actively take my like three things and put them underneath the cupboard. And I'm like, stop touching my. I need one small area. Mm-hmm. What's your problem? It's neat. It's tidy. What is your thing? So a couple times, what I did was I would take all of her stuff, all of it, and put it underneath the counter, and then I would have this. The whole counter would be clean, and then it would just have on one side my razor, my soap, and everything, and the other side my toothbrush and that's it. And then I would just sit in my bedroom, which was like one door down, and I would just wait. And all of a sudden I'd hear it come upstairs, go into the bathroom. Yeah, what did you do? I'm like, oh, you don't like it when somebody takes your stuff and puts it underneath? Why not? Well, you don't like that? You don't like what? Hey, I needed the space for my stuff. She's like, you don't need to put all my stuff in there. I'm like, why? I needed to put my stuff under. What's the problem? If you need it, just take it out and put it back under. It's totally reasonable. And the worst part was that there was no argument to win. Now she was just being bitchy herself, and to this point now, I even tell my brothers, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't accept being treated like that. And my brother's like, yeah, but she treats everybody like that. I'm like, well, then you guys as her brothers should have explained to her that she's a bitch. So it's quite funny because even now she tries to be like, oh yeah, we're so close. And I'm like, with who? You're a nut job. I'm like, I don't handle that kind of stuff. And then I had my other brother die. So I'm like, the ones that are left, I'm like, yeah, I can deal with them. And worst comes to worst, we fight. That's fine. It's very reasonable. And hey, no face shots, no breaking bones, bruises on the body. It's normal sibling rules. Okay.
Yeah. My sister and I used to roughhouse a lot when we were little. And like she, 3 years older, that's a big difference when you're 7, right? And she's 10.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But she's like, I remember the
Not
first
for
day
long.
you got the better of me, and I was like, okay, I need to switch up my tactics because he can beat the shit out of me now. And I think I've told this story before. It was when I decked her in front of the Lincoln Memorial. We took a family trip to DC, and she was like torturing me because she always does. And then I just tackled her ass on the lawn in front of the Lincoln Memorial. And then, like, as I'm, raining blows upon her, she's like, maybe I gotta do this a different way.
Yeah.
And
right. That's when they have to use their words.
And she's very good at it. My sister is the smart one out of the two of us. So it's kind of cool where, like, going into our adulthood, we've sort of learned to like learn from each other, where I was the funny one, she was the smart one. And then as we've gotten older, she's like gotten into improv and has better comedic timing now. And I'm learning to use my words better and like have become a better writer. So like you learn from the other side. It's good.
There are multiple ways to battle, and some of those are physical, and some of them are verbal, and others are mental.
Yep.
But having siblings teaches you how to do all that.
Like there was one time where we were in a tree house, and when I say tree house, I mean my dad put a few boards nailed together in a tree. So it was just like a platform in a tree.
Yeah.
We're having a squirt gun fight up there, and she is like on the other side of the platform. She squirts me in the eye, which instinctively makes me back up off the side of the platform and into
perfect.
And of course, my mom's like, "What did you do to him?" She's like, "I didn't touch him." And I remember like I'm scratched the fuck up, and I wasn't really mad at her because she definitely got the drop on me, and I was like,
yeah,
she didn't touch me. I fell off. Sorry. Like
that's it. So that's there was nothing better though when you're like, I didn't touch him, and then the sibling has to admit and be like, no, I fell, and you're like,
fuck, I lost. Yeah.
I was just present. It has nothing to do. I was not the catalyst for this horrible situation. I was just here, and sorry, it's such is life. What are you gonna do?
When you were growing up, did you think your siblings hated you? Like when you were little?
No, I thought my siblings found me annoying, but that's probably because I was annoying. It's not.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do anything, right? Like it was, yeah.
I thought my sister hated me for a long time, but when you're 9 or whatever, it's you don't know too much. You don't know what like true hatred is compared to just like, Mom, he's in my room again,
Also true. Well, and that's the bigger difference too, is that especially like if you experience puberty very close in time wise, you're at each other's throats just because of proximity. Has nothing to do with anything other than just you're there, and I'm having problems, so I'm going to take it out on you. And once you're adults, things get a little bit different. And that's, I think, like we were talking about this too, was with friends of ours where they were like, we're not sure how this kid is going to turn out. I'm like, you can do everything right with a kid and they're still retarded. Like you could do everything right in a relationship and one person fucks off. There's nothing, it's not on you every time. Like sometimes you're a piece of shit. Let's be honest. But if you're trying, nobody's perfect. And even if you are perfect, things don't work out, right? That's just how life is. So there's a period of time. And also, like I've said this multiple times. I'm like, if I had to die to save one of my siblings or family members, first in line, no questions asked. Am I going to go out for dinner with every one of them? No, that's my personal time. I don't need to spend that. Right.
Yeah.
Like there's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And
like, with the two littles, where I keep saying littles, they're 16 and 14. They're not little anymore.
They're yeah.
But like,
also, when you're that age, you don't know you're an idiot too, right? Like it's the same, and you're going to experience this really, really, really soon, like because you have seniors that you're teaching as well, right? Mm-hmm. Where they hit 18 and they're like, well, we're both adults, and you're like, ove on, we're not.
Give it a
legally. That's you're not. I've had guys who were like 22 and I'm 40 at this point, and they're like, well, we're both adults, and I look at them, I'm like bro, I would detach your limbs like you were a fly. Legally, and they're like,
legally speaking, yes, but like wisdomly, that's not a word. Wisdomly speaking, not quite. And what's funny is that the older of the littles is a sophomore in high school, and I teach sophomores this year, so it's very kind of surreal. To like my students could be one of my students if she came to my school.
Well, that's also too, the longer you're in a school, the better, more of an opportunity you're going to have to see like multiple siblings of a family, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
I just had one student who she's like switching schools, and she's like, you'll have my brother next year. I'm like, okay, thanks for letting me know.
It's not always so this is the funny thing is my sister, so when we were growing up, there was only one high school, and it was up in the boonies. And then they made a new high school that was closer to us. So the first year that high school was open, my sister was the graduating year. Thank you. Was the graduating year. So all the teachers knew her. And then after 6 years, my brother came. And so they only knew my sister as graduate, great marks. She got a scholarship, all these things. And they were like, she was so great. My brother starts.
And then,
so first year, grade 9, he's on the honor roll. And that was the end of that. Now, so this is the problem is, so you have her record, right? Mm-hmm. She was so good. She was so good. Yeah. And I'm like, that was a farce and a lie. She's a horrible human being. Just right there. Then my brother comes, and it's 2 years of him being in that school, making a reputation for himself before I come. So 2 years, he's there causing all sorts of havoc. Okay. And then I show up, and so just to put it in perspective. So my brother that I was only 2 years older than me was, say 5'9" and 210 pounds. So he was a big guy, but not a big guy. Right.
Right.
I come in, I'm already 6 feet. I'm already 280 pounds. And I look like this. I basically look like this with less wrinkles and less facial hair, only because I was always clean shaven back then.
Right.
And they're like, oh, but the weird thing is the brother that's 2 years older than me is also has a very dark complexion. So it's from my mom's side of the family, where he almost looks Indian, is like a light-skinned Indian guy kind of thing. So me and him never got, like, we would take pictures for the siblings thing in the yearbook, and they would never put our picture in because they're like, we don't believe you're siblings. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, you guys aren't siblings. So we're like, we're siblings. We have the same last name. We live in the same house. We're brothers. And they're like, no, it's impossible. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But teachers were like, oh, are you a slacker like your brother? And I'm like, I'm not as smart, so it's even worse.
That's weird that they just asked you outright, because I've talked to like other old head teachers where you have, they're like, I had them, then I had his sister, and then whatever. And I'm like, how do you usually react? Like, they're like, I see the last name, and I'm like, well, shit. And there's like they try and remind teachers, like, everybody's their own person. They're not always the same.
Nope.
I haven't taught in general and taught anywhere long enough for this to happen to me, and probably next year it'll probably happen. But it's still like I'm gonna try and make an effort to give that person the benefit of the doubt. We'll see.
Hey, honestly, you really should. What's up, Christian? How you doing, buddy? You really should. So this was the thing, like, so I would have teachers. So my brother, who is 2 years older than me, was the quote unquote smart one, golden child kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he passed away. And turns out he was the worst. He was a horrible human being. That's it. He talked all sorts of shit, lied about people, and the funny thing was that my parents, like, he was the only one that went to university, and I went to college, right?
Okay.
And for him,
for you Americans, university is like a 4-year, and college is community college. Sorry. We use college and university like interchangeably to mean.
You mean wrongly? Yeah, you use it wrongly. Okay.
No, you the way you guys do it makes more sense because it's internally consistent.
Hey, just like Thanksgiving, the whole world uses our way, and you guys
we're
like,
gonna do this every year. We're gonna do this every year, apparently. Okay,
right. Absolutely. So in turn, like he was, and also, I'll be honest with you, he was very smart, and he would pick up on things a lot faster than the rest of us. But we all had our nuances. We all had our strengths in various areas. So it was weird because we had our base structuring from my parents, but then we all had our own little things, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm really good with numbers, but I'm not good at studying and stuff like that. Like that's just, I should have put more effort when I was younger to build those habits. I didn't, and now I'm here, right? So the problem was, because of my parents, we were all very quick-witted and quick to pick things up, and we could kind of understand a situation very quickly by just piecing things together. Be like, okay, I'm okay. I'm not an expert, but I know what's happening, right? And that was my parents. Like, no, you have to think. Like, their biggest lesson to us was critical thinking, and don't just listen to stuff, question it. Understand it, because if you can't question it to understand it, then you're not being told the truth, right? Like, it's that simple. And that was the whole thing, like, where teachers would get really pissed because they would look at me and be like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, no, I'm lazy. There's a big difference. I'm not stupid. I'm very lazy. And to the point where, like, sorry, go ahead.
My sister, like, being the smart one, the only school we went to the same one together was elementary school. And like at that point, I don't remember my teachers being as judgmental to me when I got there, and like obviously wasn't the golden kid, but like in middle and high school we're off on our own in our own schools. So that was just not an issue for me. The whole like reputation beforehand. And especially my last high school, where she was already off at college and I was coming in the middle of high school. So I wasn't even there for 9th and 10th grade. They're like, who the fuck are you, random guy?
Yeah.
It was kind of nice, actually, to have you're just being judged on their interactions right there. And that's it.
Yeah. There's a certain advantage to that. So like I had a whole thing. And I was able to have this conversation with my dad before he passed, and it was hilarious. Was that, like, in grade 9, I brought home 2 A's. I had never brought home an A ever in my entire life. Okay.
What were the classes that was for?
Business and something else. I think.
Was it like economics when you say business, or?
No, it was grade 9, so it was just open, like, introduction to business kind of thing. And this is the funny thing is, like, I challenged that teacher aggressively, and we would have debates on a probably weekly basis. And like people, this is the thing is, he's like, I love that we have the debates, but it really fucks up my lesson plan. And I'm like, yeah, but people learn more from our debates than they do from your lesson plan. And he was like, why do you have to say shit like that? I'm like, it's true. He's like, it's not the point. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I'm here to learn. And if you're not going to teach me, I'm going to ruin your day. That was like, I was very much of like, so I brought home 2 A's. One was business, and I forget what the other one was. But my dad literally grabbed it, looked at it, says, you can do better, and gave it back to me. And I was like, oh, well, then fuck it. What the fuck am I doing here? Right. Yeah. So I didn't bring back anything. Like, I was a C and D student the entire time. Right. The funny thing is, I would take advanced courses and get a C or a D. And I had other teachers like, why don't you just take basic stuff so you can go to college? And I'm like, oh, because I don't need that's for stupid people. And they're like, yeah, but you're not trying hard in the advanced courses. I'm like, that's fine, but that's my prerogative. I can do that. You can't. And they would always, it's enraging to them because it's so backwards, right? Because they're like, wait, but you should be trying harder. I'm like, yeah, but I don't have to. I only have to get through this. This is bullshit, right? So like my perspective in high school is very not good.
You can also enjoy the like complexity of the AP class while still not trying very hard.
Well,
I have a student this semester who he was doing exactly that. He's smart but lazy, and he was like, they kicked me down here because I wasn't doing well enough. I'm like, what? Do you understand what was happening? He's like, yeah, I just didn't want to do any of the work.
Yeah,
like refreshingly honest. I was like, huh, neat.
Yeah, I'm like, why would I lie about it? I'm like, no, this is stupid. Like, to the point where I had teachers like enraged at me. Can you just try harder? And I'm like, why? Why should I bother? I'm like, I'm sorry. You're not. I had a couple teachers where I'm like, yeah, you're just bad at teaching. And they're like, I'm great at teaching. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not. And this is the point where I'm like, how about, and I challenged a couple teachers that were very bad at giving lectures. And I'll be like, why don't you give me the information and I'll do the lecture? Because that way we can actually learn something. And they were just like, you know what? Because I would actively present so well, because I'm like, I was learned to give discourse. Like I would give talks on the Bible, right? Yeah. I'm like, and when you give a talk on the Bible, this is the information you're given. Okay, this is the area of the Bible we're discussing. You have to talk for 5 minutes. Go.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. So you're going, okay, what do I do?
Growing up, so like I've been to church with people. I can count on one hand the amount of times I've done that.
So think about it this way: is you're given a chapter of a textbook, and it says you got to present this over 2 hours. Go.
Oh yeah,
same thing. It's the same exact principle, because you just say, okay, now how? Because my way of public speaking and giving a talk is very much okay, if you could read this and get all the information, that eliminates my necessity of delivering this information. So my inherent purpose is to simplify and connect these dots in a very easy way, so that when you remember it, you only have to remember how, who won WrestleMania. I don't have to remember the history of 1976 and bullshit like that. Like it's very simple, and I break things down. Teachers fucking hated it. And the worst part is they would be like, oh, I thought your brother was bad. This is way worse. I'm like,
right. It's a good thing you're not the youngest, because whoever came after you would be like, oh fuck, I have like two, like, and there's precedent, right? There's a trend of the Blitzes.
That's the funny thing, is that like when I've met other people who I treated as like a younger sibling, I'm always very protective. Like I'll razz them to death, but only I get to do that. You don't get to do that. I get to do that, right? And that's a fee for service. They're like, hey, I'll protect you from death, but also I'm gonna make fun of you because you shit your pants. It's very fair. It's very reasonable. I think it's a fair exchange, right? Yeah.
You are one of the people in Disneyland that is one of those numbers.
Bro,
why do I have thoughts like that? What about adulthood? Like I remember in early adulthood, in college, I sort of like was left to my own devices for the most part of like,
Yeah.
okay, you're doing this because you want to do stand up, major in whatever you want. And then I made the mistake of just not going to networking stuff when I definitely should have. Um,
Yeah.
so with all of that in mind, doing that and then like just kind of doing the comedian jobs, right? Like doing Uber and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I remember having like a really fucking knockdown, dried out argument with my sister. Uh, we we went skiing one weekend, me and her, and our mom and my my brother-in-law, her boyfriend at the time, and
Mm.
she and I are driving home together,
Mm.
and like all 300 miles from Mammoth to LA, just shouting at each other back and forth about like you're wasting your life and like why like
She
this she was
she's
telling me
saying that to you. Okay.
yeah. And like I didn't appreciate it at the time. I just kind of took
Yeah,
it as like yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
yeah. Um what fair that she told me that or
No, fair that you weren't okay. Hey,
yeah.
I've had a couple people try and be like, you're doing it, and go, hey, I'll beat you to death if you keep on talking. Like, what? I'm like, if you keep on talking, I'm gonna beat you to death with your own hands. Just without
I'll tear
I'm
them
like,
all.
I'll bury you in the desert. No one will ever find you. So we can continue this conversation knowing full well that you're gonna die, or you can say your piece and feel better about yourself. Like I do not like
I
yeah.
don't know. My sister got a reputation as we've both gotten older as like kind of an HR lady type vibe where like let's say we all have to talk about something like where are we, what are we doing for mom's birthday this year? And she's like, "Okay, I set up a Google meeting. Let's make a plan." And it's like very type A of her. Um so that's kind of the vibe that I got during
Sure.
that conversation where we're yelling at each other. I'm like, "Can you just fucking let me live my life please?" Like um
Yeah. So
yeah,
like
and, like, it
uh,
didn't stay that way. Like,
no, no, no.
yeah, but I just remember not taking that very well at the time.
Well, so I'm sure she didn't come from a malicious place.
No, she
She
didn't.
was more so she wanted what's best for you, and she feels
Yeah.
like you're not seeing it. Now, that's and as soon as people start yelling at me, I just go, hey, do you think I'm listening better because you're raising your voice, or am I just learning to ignore you?
Mhm.
And they go, oh, well, I'm like, because if you want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation. But if you yell at me, listen, you're just biding your time before you get smacked. Like that's because don't I've had many people try and yell in my face, and I'm like, does that feel good? I'm like, because I'm gonna hurt you now, and it's not gonna go well. And they're like, what? And I'll do one of these where I just start walking towards them and just pushing, like I'll just poke my finger into people's chest and be like, hey, just so you know, this is gonna hurt a lot. And there's like, oh no, that's not what I wanted. I'm like, well, then maybe you should learn. Like, I'm at a gas station, okay? My normal gas station, I walk over to get smokes just on the corner.
Mhm.
And this guy is giving this lady shit about how the pump's not working and he already charged it and why isn't it making sense? And he's getting quite aggressive. And it's an older Indian woman, and her husband runs the night shift and she runs the day shift, right? And I'm next in line, and I go, hey man, I don't think you should be treating anybody like that. He goes, who the? And he turns around and he's looking at my chest. He's a short little guy.
Yeah.
And I go, and he just goes, looks up and goes, well, I'm like, hey, you have every right to be frustrated. You don't have a right to take that frustration out on her. And he went, yeah, you're probably right. And I'm like, we can find a solution. And I was like, it's okay. We'll figure it out together, but we don't have to be mean. And
Mhm.
the funny thing is, like, I wouldn't do that in the States because the US has guns. Whereas here,
Yeah.
you can't. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Stab me? You're not gonna hit anything vital. Go for it. I'd
Yeah.
love to see you try. Right?
It's all muscle and fat now. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Matthew Football King. Hey, bro. Hey, welcome back, Matthew.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those weird things where I'll actively look at people and be like, do you think it's nice talking to people like that? I don't think it's nice. And then they look at me and they're like, you look like a murderer. And I'm like, I do.
Yeah.
I really
You're
do.
like,
I'm trying to be, and I'm going to be nice. Yeah.
all of the conflict resolution skills I didn't use in my childhood, I've saved up for this moment right now.
You know what? It's so hilarious because people have this assumption about me, from what I understand, where they're waiting for me to just flip out and just break shit. I'm like, I don't. Why would I break my own shit? I'm like, no. I'm like, you think I'm going to go to a restaurant, freak out, and break somebody else's shit? No, I was raised with good parents. That's not. I'm not going to do that. I don't break my shit. I'm not going to break your shit. No. I'm like, I'll grab something that's like. Victoria took me to a rage room once. We have never been back because she's like, that was a lot to experience because I was just, bro, I grabbed a printer and ripped it in half. And she's like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm like, yeah, just taking out the rage. Just,
yeah. Fun fact, Dino was in the cast of Office Space, and after several reshoots of the printer scene, they ended up replacing him because he didn't make it satisfying enough for them to beat it to death with baseball bats.
Bro, this is the funny thing is because I was still very fat at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like one hand, like I have a baseball bat in one hand, and I'm just going, and things are just exploding. I'm like, you had safety goggles, a full hazmat suit, and we started just watching things explode, going, what the fuck just happened? And I'm like, I hit
it's like an anime where like the person cuts the thing in half with a sword, and you see the little slash, and then a second, and then everything explodes.
Exactly. That's exactly what was happening. And even like I hit the printer and it didn't break, and I was like, huh. And I just grabbed it and just ripped it in half with my bare hands, bro. And then people walked in, they're like, how did you I'm like, with my hands, and they're like, okay, that's steel. I'm like,
so we're gonna give you 20% off. No reason, just
this is why every time we go to an escape room, I'm like, is there anything we're supposed to break through? They're like, there is definitely not anything you're supposed to break through. I'm like, I'm glad to clarify that. And people look at me, they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, all Kool-Aid man, that whole place just, oh yeah, just right through the wall. And they're like, yes, no Kool-Aid man, don't Kool-Aid man anything. And I'm like, yeah.
I'm glad we got on the same page.
Yeah. Just to clarify, I don't know. It's an escape room. I'm gonna escape. You're not holding me in anywhere.
The only escape room I've ever done was, it was supposed to be like a casino, and they chose two of us to, like, you had to be locked in the boss's office. So they handcuffed us to chairs and shut the lights off. And then like me and my brother-in-law, we had to like paw around in the dark to like, here's the light switch. Then you gotta like find the code to open the drawer for the handcuff key. And then like the rest of the team is in the actual casino doing the thing. But I could very imagine like they picked Dino for the boss's office, and you're just like, okay, so I ripped the light off the chair, and okay, here's the light switch, and then we move on to the next thing. And they're like, okay, somebody has to be tied up here. I'm like, I don't. Nope, not
me. Like, do we break out? They're like, no, you just have to wait. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, unless it's a comfy chair, then I'll do that. Then I'll happily just sit in the chair. Just,
yeah. Now, question: how soon did the dynamic shift in regards to like physicality? Because I mentioned before where like when my sister realized that I was like could take her physically, she had to reevaluate rivalry tactics. Like, what was that like growing up for you?
Oh, so that was the thing, is because I was the smallest, right? And in 1990, so I was 10, my brother was 12. My oldest brother was getting married, so we had to get measured for tuxedos, because we rented tuxedos in the wedding party.
Right.
And I was half an inch taller than my brother that was 2 years older. I was 4'9.5", and he was 4'9".
And this is before puberty too. That's crazy for you.
Yeah.
And
then and he was enraged by this. Like, he was so angry about it, and there was nothing he could do. But I'm like 4'9". I'm like, I'm tiny, right?
Yeah. You're like, this is the magic number. I don't have to wear a booster seat anymore. Yay.
A couple years after that, so probably 93, my one brother went and toured Europe over the wintertime. And he's the second oldest, and he's 5'6". And when he came back, the brother that's 2 years older than me had hit puberty and hit a growth spurt, so he was like 5'8", when my brother came out. So he's 2 inches taller than now our second oldest brother. And my brother was like, "Oh my God," like it happened so fast. And I was still like 4'11", like I was tiny. And he was now like 5'8". So I hit probably another couple years, and like it started getting weird because my brother that was 2 years older than me would bully me, and then I started hitting puberty, and I was almost immediately bigger than him. Like literally within like snap of a finger, I'm suddenly bigger than everyone in my household. And I was 15, and I was that was just before I was starting, or yeah, it was 94, 95. I was just starting high school, and or I was the first year of after high school that summertime. And my dad, who, like, he's a Greek immigrant. We were very physical. It's nothing, not a stretch. So he went to smack me in the face because we would work in the machine shop, which is very stressful, but also you could die. Like there was a million different things that could kill you instantly.
Mm-hmm. I feel like with the machine shop thing, because like we brought this up on other episodes before, where like the machine shop taught you guys at the very least like how to put the grievances aside when there's like a fucking hydraulic press 2 feet from you, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Not only that, but also taught you how to be aware of your surroundings, ready for anything. Also, how to deal with emergency situations. Like, listen, you're carrying a big piece of steel. It falls, hits your foot. You can't react a certain way, right? You're putting something down. It catches your finger. You can't freak out, right? An example: I was helping one of my brothers work on a lathe, and a lathe is exposed in the front and has a bunch of turning
gears or something. Or
well, they're it's a drivetrain kind of thing, but it's at the front.
Right.
And that's how you change the speed. But those are exposed. I was wearing a lumber shirt. It caught on, so when you see videos of people getting sucked into machines, that's it. Okay. Now, luckily for me, I was too fat. So the shirt I just started spinning around all of a sudden, and it was just ripping my shirt off. And then it just ripped. And I was like, and all my siblings are standing going, okay, we should all go change, because we were all wearing like, just because it was cold, so we had layers on and stuff like that, and we're all like, hey, we got to be more proactive about wearing overall, like coveralls, because that they're there for safety, right? And then I come inside, and my dad sees me with half a shirt. He's like, "Are you?" I'm like, "Everybody's okay. I'm just changing into coveralls." He's like, "Okay, all right." We all learned a very hard lesson the easiest possible way. So like, little things like that kind of help you learn later on that you're like, oh, when everyone's freaking out, don't. That's your opportunity to be sound of mind, logical, reasonable. Everybody calm the fuck down. At the same time, I had one brother take a piece of brass and hit me in the head with it, and then kick me with steel toe boots. Like there's a very broad stretch of it, but like,
and then you picked up a printer, ripped it in half, and threw both pieces at him. You know, because this is Mortal Kombat apparently. And
so I'm 15. My dad goes to smack me in the face. I palm his entire chest, and his smack just flies right, because he was small.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, you're not ever gonna hit me again. That's over with. If you touch me again, I'm gonna rip your arms off and beat you to death with them. And he's looking at me, and he takes another swing and just wind right by the face. And he's like, and it enraged him, because this was like, so he had fought my two oldest siblings in, I think, Cape Cod, where like, we can take you, when one of them was 18, one of them was 16. My dad was 45 at that time, and I was like, okay. And he proceeded to smack the shit out of them. Okay. So this was my first time. So my brother that's 2 years older than me never had that interaction with my dad. But this was the first time where I said, hey, you're old, and I will destroy you. I am far bigger than you, and this is not going to work. But the weird thing,
the future is now, old man.
100%. Like that was, but the thing is, it changed. It was very much like that. It changed my relationship with my dad. So we actually had to start talking about stuff, and he would have to reason and logic and be like, and instead of, because all growing up, my parents were like, don't touch anyone ever. Don't touch anyone. I'm like, why? And that actually led to me being bullied because I was like, well, I'm not allowed to touch people. And the guy's hitting me and I'm like, I'm not allowed. And then they were like, yeah, but if somebody touches, well, my parents were like, well, if somebody's hitting you, you should hit him back. And I'm like, I could have used that addendum a lot sooner in my life. Thank you very much. And then, yeah, that was the end of bullying. It was magical.
You know what I'm imagining? You've seen How I Met Your Mother, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the slap bet? And then Lily's like, no more slaps giving. And then Marshall's really sad. And right at the end, Barney's being really annoyed. And then Lily's like, you can slap him. And then he goes, and then turns around and just. That's what I'm imagining. You'll be like, I can hit people? Yes.
Hey, just so you know when they do a sneak peek into Marshall's growing up, and it's like barbed wire and violence and like, okay, that was our growing up, like, to the point where my mom, bro. So there had been multiple times where people were like, "Oh, you wanna," and that was as far as it went, because especially when we grew up and now we were all like, my brothers were in their late 20s, we were in our early 20s or late teens, early 20s kind of thing.
Yeah.
We would hang out like a bunch of guys, and then somebody would try and be a big man and get a little physical, and then it was four of us. And the funny thing is that it was weird because no one would invite me for shenanigans. But then I'd be like, oh, I hear shenanigans. And then I'd walk into a room and all my brothers are like, you guys are fucked now. And they're like, oh no. And I would just come in and start throwing people around. And it was great because to the point where I would grab people, lift them up in the air. And they're like, I am not supposed to be up here. And I'm just like, no, that's just how the cookie crumbles. Sorry. It was great. It was a very fun experience, but yeah. I think that was like, yeah.
Your thing about like learning how to reason because of the dynamic change with your dad, or because of the machinery, right? Where with my sister, it was less about reasoning and more about like manipulation, where she's like, how can I get this stupid fucking idiot who's funny, but he's an idiot, to do the things I want him to do. So it took way too long, but like just slowly getting better at like knowing when people are like pulling your leg, that sort of thing. It's like I've dealt with the trickster god one too many times, and that sort of thing. At the same time, though, and I think this is what my dad was trying to teach us, but he didn't communicate it very well, and we sort of learned it later, which is like my dad very much did not show a lot of emotion about anything, for better or for worse. But I think what he was trying to get us to do is don't freak out in a crisis, focus on the salient points and fix those first. And like we didn't learn that until at least my mid-20s, where it was the sort of thing where it's like, oh my God, all these terrible things are happening. I'm like, okay, what's the thing that will affect me first? And then it's like Dwight with the fucking glue stick, one crisis at a time, right?
See, this is the thing, is that handling things that way also, like you said, it teaches you how to deal with people that even if you don't like, to deal with them in a crisis and be positive. So I'm like, I've had to deal with people that I actively don't like, where I've told them like, I don't like you, I don't think you're a good person, and I don't like being around you. And they're like, because they're like, oh, can I come? And I'm like, no. And people are like, did you just tell somebody no? And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, this is my personal time and I would like to enjoy it. I find your company to be taxing. So unless that's going to change, no. And people are like, did you just tell somebody to their face that you find their presence taxing? And I'm like, yes. You should know, hey, I'm not saying you have to change, but if you want me to accept you, well, don't be so burdensome. And that was like, people don't like me for that.
Part of me think that might be like a culture thing. Like if you do that in LA, that's like fucking mind shattering for a lot of people, because there's the sort of thing where it's like, oh, LA is fake. That's more core LA.
Yeah.
But it varies across like different races and ages and all that sort of thing. So your mileage may vary. I think your size really helps with that.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because like I've seen people who are like, if you weren't so big, I'd punch you in the face. I'm like, you can try anyway. And they're like, no, I'm like, you're not going to do anything, but it's okay. You can try. Yeah. I'll laugh. It'll be a funny story. They're like, fuck you. I'm like, all right, well, that's fine. I don't know.
There's I think the best like salient point to get from this episode is like, you can still have rivalry with your siblings, even if it's fun.
Absolutely.
Yes. And it's important to like look back on that and take those lessons to heart. Most recently, the thing that my sister and I have a rivalry about is whenever we would go to our mom's for dinner, we would also always have an argument of like, who's taking home the leftovers? And that will probably be the thumbnail for this episode where this is years ago. I photoshopped a picture of like my sister and I and with the light down the center, like it's Mortal Kombat. So, yeah. But for the most part, we're pretty hunky dory now. Do you get along with your siblings now? The ones who are alive?
I don't get along with my one brother who was horrible is dead, so I get along with him great. Okay. My sister is a missionary on the other end of the world, so also get along with her great because I do not interact with her. She ignores me. Yeah, she ignores me actively, and I'm like, that's fine. I don't care. My oldest two brothers, I get along. I thought that they didn't like me, but like you were saying, like I didn't think that we were friends. They just tolerated my existence because we're siblings. And now as we're older and we have had more conversations and stuff, I get along with them great. Not as often, like just because of the religious stuff and everything. We don't hang out ever, but every once in a while our paths cross and we're all, oh, hey, how's it going? It's a very positive experience. And if I reach out, they will respond with whatever anything. So it's a much better relationship. It's not as close as I would like it to be, but there are barriers that are they're not of my doing. Well, I'm responsible, but it's not my barrier. How about that?
Yeah.
So we're kind of in that weird situation, but like in general, pretty good. My the brother that passed away, we used to be best friends, and then he decided to be in a relationship, and then him and his spouse would bully me, and I just walked away because I'm like, I don't care, go fuck yourself. And then apparently, turns out I'm the better man. So apparently, I can handle my health better. Get fucked.
And I gotta say that is not an easy task. That is fucking Stalin picking up and moving his entire manufacturing base into the interior of the country. How you went from two guys to one guy, so impressive.
Hilariously, so at the end of high school, he got fat because he was now engaged, and I got thinner. And then I was essentially saying all the fat jokes he used to say to me back to his face, and he could not handle it, and it was hilarious. And then like people will be like, "Oh, your brother died." I'm like, "Yeah." The only regret I have is I wasn't able to show him in his face that I was thinner than him and he was going to be the fat one forever. And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of regret that, but my mom said he knew, so I'm glad he can suck on that while he's dead." And people were like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "I don't care, whatever. People make their own decisions. It's not my problem."
I mean, like my parents are both the youngest of 5 and 6, respectively.
Wow.
In my dad's case, it's a blended family of 2 and 4, but whatever, still counts.
Yeah. Still.
But he's close with all of his living siblings to some extent or another.
That's good.
Like none of them are fighting, and then in my mom's case, only 2 of them are left. She's the youngest. The oldest one is the only one who's left.
Like Highlander? Like what the fuck is happening in her family?
Let's see. One died by suicide, and then the other 2, one was cancer, and the other, I can't remember what the other one died from. But it's pretty insane. But they weren't like they fought a lot, which
Yeah.
really sucks. Like even now, where it's just the two of them left, they're not super close. I'm like, now would be the time to like
Yeah.
be John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. Like, put aside the petty squabbles when it's this late in your life.
Atlas talks about stuff he learned in Hamilton. Bingo card. That's fun.
That wasn't even in the show. This is like when they're really old. I got that from the HBO Paul Giamatti miniseries where he's John Adams. Have you seen that? Okay, it's like a miniseries where it's just him as John Adams. He's really good in it. But yeah, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson fucking hated each other. And then the last like 5 years or so of their life, they're like besties because they're like, we're too old for that shit. We'll just
well, cool. And that's the thing. Petty squabbles are not well, they're exactly that. And once you can get your head out of your ass, it's a lot better, right? Yeah. So and also too, having siblings, not being close with your siblings is a lost connection to your past, right? Where like you all have some inside baseball history and like those are really, really important things to understand, because if you don't know where you come from, you don't know how to go forward, right? So like it's one of those things, but
I wish that I could be closer with the littles. They have phones now, right?
Oh, really?
But they never answer me or my older sister because either because they don't care or because my stepmom has like draconian ass control over their phones.
Hey,
who knows?
You can't be responsible for their actions. You can only be responsible for yours. So send them benefit. What I do is even people who I don't really talk with, I still send them memes that I think are funny and that I think are applicable to them. And you know what? I hope they do connect someday. If they don't, okay, that's on them. I don't care. Like it's not up to me to decide how other people act. But you're right. I think that's a good point. And also to them being around puberty age, like they're not good people. Like, and that's not a dig at their parents or how they're experience life. You're hormonal and in puberty. You're the worst. You're the worst thing to be around. That's why I believe you're some sort of sadist where you're like, I'm going to educate the crazies. And you're just like, why would you do that to yourself? Right.
Okay. I'm just going to hit back with, doing stand-up is basically the same. I'm going to make the crazies laugh. Like same fucking idea.
I mean, wow. It's also, I explained this to somebody else where I'm like, yeah, but the problem with comedy is it attracts the most like idiotic, crazy people in existence to tell jokes.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to have a reasonable, logical argument without somebody going squirrel every 3 seconds. It's just how it is, right? It's just an environment thing. But sibling rivalry, what are you going to do? It is a necessary evil that once you get through it, I feel you really can experience the best of having siblings.
Right. So to the audience out there, what's your sibling rivalry story? Are you close with your siblings? And for the only children out there, your imaginary friend, I'm not sure what it's like to be an only child. Follow us at Generation Dan. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell your friends. You can also check out me at Atlas Novak in all those places. And like my TikTok or my other show, Nexus at Night, which is streaming every Friday at 7 p.m. on YouTube. That's about the trading card game, Card Fight Vanguard. If that's not your thing, I completely understand. And you, sir.
I am here available at Dino the Genetic Marvel. I am documenting my experience. I'm trying to cut weight, so I'm fasting like 4 days a week. Dude. Having it. Yeah, it's a lot. But last week I tried to stop smoking. I stopped smoking on Saturday. I started smoking again by Thursday. It was a fun experience. I think Victoria doesn't want it to keep going. I think a couple times she was tempted to just go buy me cigarettes. She'd be like, just smoke, you bastard. It's horrible to be around. So that's fair. But yeah, no, it was such a fun experience. I had a great time. But follow me. I have a bunch of shows. We do Morning Motivational Rant on Mondays and on Thursdays in the morning because it's not evening motivational rant. That'd be ridiculous. We have movie Mondays. We should do that's a horrible idea.
I'm serious. We should
no, that's fine. But yeah, no, we have motherfucking Mondays, and on Mondays as well, we have been watching a movie at nighttime, and we're watching horrible movies. So you can come check it out. This week we're watching Nightbreed, which is like a 70s scary movie. It's gonna be horrible. I'm excited.
Nightbreed sounds like the rejected name for Bob Seger's Night Moves, or he's like got a pad with like Nightbreed, Night Sex.
It's
does anyone have Night Moves? Night Moves.
It's a 1990s movie. It's a troubled young man is drawn to a mythical place called Midian, where a variety of friendly monsters are hiding from humanity. It's very backwards. It's very exciting. But yeah, it should be fun.
Watch The Room at some point if you haven't already.
The Room.
Tommy Wiseau. You are tearing me apart.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I don't know. So it's this weird thing where we're trying to watch stuff that is good, but also like cult classic. Like we're trying to find mostly we watch scary movies in general. We watched the first 3 Terrifiers and then the precursor to Terrifier. They were all really good. It was very enjoyable. But
let me ask Katie, because Katie knows horror movies abound. So
anything that's really like obscure but also cool, let us know. We'd love to watch it.
I don't know if it's too obscure, but Late Night with the Devil last couple of years came out. I
watched it. I love that movie.
I liked it.
It was a great movie. Yeah. It was good. I'm tempted to. There's a lot of stuff like that where we're trying to just do cool stuff and go from there. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everyone. We're going to be back later. Bye.